So I got my 3 main poles for the structure. Most importantly, I've got them all lined up evenly where the butts are going to contact the ground. If you don't do that, you're going to end up with a wobbly structure. Doesn't matter about the tops. They can be a lot longer than each other. It really doesn't matter. But always make sure that the bottoms are even. So what we're going to do with these is we're going to lash them together. If I can find the start of this paracord here. So just a little history on the teepee here is, many people know it's it's a very common structure. It's very widely used by the indigenous people in North America. Obviously they use canvas for a multitude of reasons, more insulating factor, so on and so forth. But these teepees have been around for tens of thousands of years, and the concept of it is relatively simple. So I was thinking to myself the other day, and I was thinking, self, on all these seasons of alone, why do you never really see teepees? I came to the conclusion that people are only allowed to carry a 10 by 12 tarp, I believe is the actual size allowance. So take this teepee for instance here. If you do a 12-foot pole, it's basically going to give you a 9-foot diameter, and you need a substantially larger tarp than what is actually supplied to you or allowed to take. So when you look in the environment that I'm in here, we really don't have a lot of access to evergreen or ground cover. Obviously it's middle of winter here, 4 feet of snow. So doing a teepee without a tarp, or any sort of shelter without a tarp in this environment, would be very, very difficult. The amount of calories expended to drop enough trees to completely close yourself and insulate yourself from the natural environment would be just insane. So, but anyways, so I got this paracord ready to go here. Just standard paracord. I don't think this is 550. I think this is a 5 thread. And this is also my cotton thread. One of the reasons I like to use a cotton thread is in a survival situation. If you can't find anything dry, like people have had problems with on the west coast of Canada, you've always got some cotton thread here that you can bunch up into a nice little fire starter tinder bundle. So I'm going to go ahead here and measure out approximately about 15 feet of this paracord. So I know that my arms spread far apart, about 3.5 feet. Right, so so the reason why we want so much of this paracord, sorry, it was my fault for not paying attention, getting this all bundled up into a mess, is we're going to lash these together. And then once we're done lashing these together, we're going to leave about a 6-foot tail. And then as we put on our final sticks onto the structure, we'll use the leftover tail of this material to lash the last and final logs. So basically all I'm going to do here, a simple knot. Forgive me, I don't know all the names for knots under the world, under the sun, but I do my best. You know what they say, if you can't tie knots, tie lots. I'm better than that, but I've been there, done that. So basically I'm going to look down my poles here. I'm going to go about 3 feet down from the top. Again, I don't need that big of a structure because I really don't have that big of a tarp here with me. So I'm just gonna kind of do what I can. So I'm basically just wrapping around this first log. This is gonna kind of create the cinch here. So now I have my other logs. Now I'm just going to basically go, I gotta get this into a bit of a tail so it's not gonna be so much of a cluster. All we're gonna do is we're gonna go under all three, over all three, under all three, over all three, under all three, over all three, until we have about 3 or 4 passes. Now, if I was on the show, obviously I don't think I'd be building a teepee. For me, this is the best bet for the environment that I'm in. I'm gonna spend the night out here. I need a fire inside my shelter, and I don't have a week or 2 weeks to build this with a nice fancy fireplace. So, now that we've got our wraps, I'm gonna take my tail end, and I'm gonna come back through here, and I'm gonna start pinching these 3 wraps together. Now, you're gonna wanna do this at least 2 or 3 times. So the idea here is, this is just cinching the paracord onto the log itself. And it's not going to allow it to slip once we stand it. Okay, so we're done that side. Move back in between the first and second log here. Now this does get difficult because as I'm doing this, it is pinching these logs together. All right. All right. So I'll give you guys a close-up on this here in a second. So again, simple knot wrapped around the first log, gone around the entire bundle at least 3 times. Then I've gone back and wrapped around the paracord in between each log to cinch. So now all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my paracord, just gonna pull a simple loop off the side, cinch it, and just tie a little knot. I like this as just a simple slip knot so I can pull the tail once I have my other log standing against the structure, and then I can use this to bound everything together. So here is the simple structure. So across and then tied up in between. Pretty simple. All right, guys. Again, I apologize for the sunglasses. I've tried multiple times to take them off, and my eyes are just watering so bad. I have had snow blindness before. I know the signs, and I just can't risk doing it. So I'll do my best to make something primitive once I get a man cave set up here. And yeah, so basically I've got everything lashed together, and let's go ahead and stand it up. All right. So we need to spread these out, which is a little more easier said than done when you're by yourself. All right, so there's one. All right, guys, so if you haven't guessed already, the general idea of this is you're creating a three-post triangle. That's how it's designed to be built. It's the most sturdy. So that's all I'm really trying to do. Spreading everything out into a nice even triangle. And then I'm gonna paste it out in between to just make sure that the dimensions of my triangle are equal all the way around. All right, looks good. So this is the base frame for our teepee. Typically teepees are a 6-post structure. So we'll basically just go ahead, we'll cut down 3 considerably smaller trees and we'll place them one in each quadrant of the teepee. Obviously, the bigger you go, the more trees you'll use. So let's find some more trees.